So we're glad to have you all here today. So what we want to focus on today is we're going to talk about our stats and really look at the numbers so that we can start to get to a ratio. So if we're reaching out to 10 people and 5 people are responding, then from there, 2 people are signing up, we know what our ratio is. So as we're trying to figure out, what level, what your dreams are, where you're wanting to get, how many people do I need to reach out to actually get to that number? And this app will help you with that because you can see every single thing you're doing. You can see exactly who is responding back, which then in turn, it leads to some great coaching conversations with your leaders because you're saying, okay, my friend over here is getting 50% of the people they talk to respond. I'm getting 20% of the people. So how do I change my strategy to be more effective? And so that's really what we're going to highlight today. So I'll jump in and start sharing my screen and we will get started. All right, so data is the new bacon. Remember when we were all talking about keto and all the things and bacon was the best thing in the world? Well, that is what data is. When you actually use it correctly and you look at your stats, because numbers tell a story when they're looked at properly. So using statistics to create improvement and empowerment. I think everybody on this call already has the app, but for anybody that might be watching it after the fact, if you would like to get the app, down below, this is the link to click, and this will take you directly to the Organo app. So what are the challenges we experience? You're working really hard to connect and share with people, but how do you know if anything's getting through? Well, with this app, we have the exposures, and you can actually see who is watching what you're sending. In the past, if we did it via social media, or even just a phone conversation, we have no idea their level of interest. They might say, oh yeah, I'll watch it. Well, you don't know if they've watched it or not. And then you're all excited because you think they might've watched it. You call them back the next day, you're asking them questions and they have no idea what you're talking about. And I will tell you, in my experience, I'm sure all of you have experienced this as well. Someone will tell me flat out, yes, I will watch it. And they never do. So one, it might be because they have a lot of things going on and they completely forgot. So I always give grace on that. But I know that now. So I can just give another little nudge instead of assuming they've watched it and talking to them as if they have. I already know they haven't. Without insight, you may be blind to your most interested prospects. I've had people I've talked to in the past that look like they have a complete blank face and they're the most excited. So being able to see that information is exciting. It gets me excited. It gets you excited. You can actually see, where is this person? And then there's other people that are like, oh yeah, cool, great. And they have zero interest. And so I don't continue to promote that. I don't continue to have that, possibly damage that relationship because I know they really are not interested. They're taking no initiative in learning what I'm trying to share. And social media won't help you understand if you're getting through to people. As I mentioned earlier, you can blast everything out to Facebook. You have no idea who is actually looking at it, watching it. I don't know about you, but I've had people in my past that I haven't talked to since high school that are really interested. And I would never have thought to reach out to them or send them something. But, then I have people in my daily life that have zero interest. So that's the beauty of utilizing this, not just going directly to social media or other avenues where you cannot track what people are doing and see what they're doing and what works. Your stats give you a real-time look at what's working and who is most interested. Just like I said, I'm going to be showing you in the app how you can see what people are doing, what they are looking at, and what is working. Knowing and understanding your ratios helps you build a better business. Again, if you know exactly, I have to talk to 100 people to get 10, well, now you have to talk to 100 people versus talking to 10 and being like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. This whole thing is a scam. It doesn't work. Well, it does work. You just have to talk to enough people. And as you talk to more people and you share it with more people, I'll tell you right now, your ratio will go up. 1, because it'll become more natural to you. 2, because you'll be able to have those coaching conversations and understanding, okay, if I just changed my strategy this little bit, my success rate is going to go up drastically. But what's great about this is it gives you and your leader stats and information to look at and coach on, very specific to you. So it's not a one size fits all approach. It's what is best for you. And what are you doing that you could change to make it better? So I'm going to jump into the app. I'll stop sharing here and I will show you exactly where you can see all of these stats. Any questions while I'm doing that on anything I just covered before I jump in? No. Clear as mud. Just kidding. All right, so here we are on our dashboard. Okay, so this dashboard gives you some fantastic stats just from the initial glance. Okay, so we can see in this app, if I look up in the top left corner where it says contacts, I have added 34 contacts into my app. Of those 34, I have sent something to 22 if you look at exposures. So exposures is how many I have sent out. If we look down, of those 22, 16 have engaged. They have clicked on something, they have watched something, they have looked at what I have sent them. Now, the reason why I always tell people when they're setting up their app, some of you may have done this, but the contacts, I always say, don't just pull in your whole phone because it messes up your contacts. If you have no intention of reaching out to that person or you've already talked to them in the past, don't add them in here. Add in people that you're actively working with or have worked with that you want to make sure you're tracking, okay? Because if I had done that, I'd have 200 contacts in my phone, and I'm showing this to my leader, and they're like, you have 200 contacts and you've reached out to 22 of them? So that's the reason why we encourage that. Really make sure that you're managing this with the people that you're working with right now and have been since you've had the app. Okay, so we've got the exposures and the engagements. Those are critical stats because if you've done 22 exposures, of the 22, 11 engaged and 5 bought. You now have a solid ratio of exactly how many people you need to be speaking with. We also have down below on the bottom right corner where it says statistics, we have a 73% engagement rate. I will tell you right now, that is a very high engagement rate. Please do not let that intimidate you. If you open your app and it is not 73%, that is okay. The reason this is like this is because it is a test app, okay? I mean, if you're 50%, that is good. Now, one of the things I would encourage you to do is constantly be trying to make that better. Are you teeing it up? Are you talking to the person? Have you been getting to know them? I don't know if you guys use the terminology, but forming or forward, where you're asking them family, occupation, recreation, how they spend their money or what their dreams are. That will help you get to where your engagements are getting better because they know what you're sending. They understand why you're sending it. There is some interest built up there as well. If I click on this statistics button, it opens up for me some additional information. So I can see, total engagements, 73% engaged. I can see it for the lifetime of my app, but I can also see it in the last 30 days. So that is beneficial. And it's very beneficial to all of you as you're coaching your teams, because you can say, okay, I saw that you've exposed 22 people, but what have you been doing in the last 30 days? Like, did you go on a trip? What happened? Obviously lovingly, because we don't want to make people quit the business, but you can do that and have those conversations, but you can also hold yourself accountable. I will tell you, there have been times in my business where I'm like, oh, I'm working so hard. And then I pull up this stat and I'm like, I might be working so hard on all the wrong things. I'm not doing the lead measures that are actually going to get people interested. I might be doing a lot of time on things that aren't as valuable. You can also look here at the resources opened. Again, lifetime, 18 have been sent, 78% have been opened, and then the last 30 days. And you can also see your email opt-in. So as we're adding people into these email campaigns, we again can look at this and go, okay, only 50% of the people I have invited to a campaign have opted in. Am I not teeing this up right? Am I not letting them know they're going to get an email and they have to opt in order for me to then be able to send them things I might come across that I think would be of interest to them? Okay, so basically the purpose of the stats is to create complete ownership for you to see what you are doing, but also for those of you that are leaders to be able to lovingly help your team take complete ownership as well and accountability. And some people might be like, hey, this is a hobby. I want it to be a hobby. That's all I've got. I'm just looking for another $200 a month. Well, okay, are you doing what's required to make the $200 a month? Other people might be like, I want this to be a full-time job and I want to make six figures. Okay, let's look at these stats. Are you doing the activity required to get to that goal? That's what you told me your why was, and I want to help you get there. So stats are very, very valuable when they're looked at often and you are holding each other accountable. It's what we're going to be talking about in future weeks, a book called The Four Disciplines of Execution. And the last execution is accountability, lovingly accountability, so that you guys are holding each other together. You're accountable, you're working together, but you can actually see the activity that's happening. The other beauty of this as a leader is you're going to know who to work with. You're going to know who's worth your time. You can lovingly love people well that maybe aren't as actively pursuing it, but it takes the words out of it. How many times is somebody, oh my gosh, I have 500 friends. I'm going to go talk to all of them and just go on, and they just take you over at a conference and then they do nothing, And so but you can look at this and see it. So it's very valuable. It's a great thing to make sure you're looking at and holding yourself accountable.